Hey, what's up guys? It is your boy Speed here, and today we'll be talking about 3 major myths about Dota. Ideas that people believe, and because they believe them, it holds them back. It prevents them from gaining MMR. And I think for a lot of players, that's what they're here to do. Get better at Dota, gain MMR, and progress as a player. And if these are the mentalities that you have, or the ideas that you've gathered from, whether or not it's another player or yourself, it will likely hold you back. And now, of course, I'm open to all discussion in the comment section down below. And now let's get into the video. All right, before we do, if you guys can smash the like button, subscribe, it helps us a ton. So click the like button down below real quick. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We post your daily Dota content so you guys can get to the next level. Also, make sure you sign up to the gameleap website. We post content there every single day. It's gonna help you get better, help you get to the next rank, similar to this video. Actually, yeah, it's just more videos, so very similar to this video. And now let's actually get into it. All right, so the first myth out of 3 that I want to talk about is this idea here. The only way to change the outcome of a game is changing how you play. Now I'm going to say that again real quick. The only way to change the outcome of the game is changing how you play. Funny enough, this is something I've been thinking about quite a bit, where a lot of people, they get into this mentality, which isn't necessarily bad, but they're like, I have to do whatever it takes to 1v9 this game. That is extremely dangerous. Now, BSJ even recently made a video talking about this mentality, and I want to kind of take a different angle at it, but his point was along the lines of, you got to trust your teammates when you're going into the game, and I couldn't agree with that more. You got to trust them, right? You have to trust them. And I want to take it a step further, where not only should you trust them, but you really even want to try to push them hard at the right circumstances to get them to work with you. Also, you can specifically play around them without them even knowing it. So you can use your teammates as a barrier, as a shield, as a way to gather information. This is something that I'm constantly doing. Constantly. No matter what bracket I'm playing in, no matter what my rank my opponents are, my rank games, unranked games, whatever it is, you use your teammates as information. They will always be useful in some way or another, whether or not you realize it. And so this is, let me give you a situation. I was talking to a player over Discord about Drow, and after the conversation ended, I always think about things for quite a while, and his point was like, I don't know how to position, and I had some things to say, of course, that's per usual, but what I realized afterwards is that a large solution for him as a Drow player could be intentionally using his teammates to prevent himself from dying, because very often, people go on the first person they see. Especially the lower MMR you go, the person that people go on is the first person they see, because they don't know any better, or they can't think fast enough, or think ahead of time where people will be. And so they go on the first person they see, and so if you're playing Drow, and you aren't in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9k MMR, very often the way you can position well is showing up late to fights. Let your teammates go in first. Right? Always stand behind them. Never frontline. Never push a tower. Yes, you're probably like saying, oh, Speed, you're telling me when I'm playing Drow never to push a tower? If you think the enemy team has very easy ways of killing you, they have an Ember and a Magnus with a Blink and a Slark with a Shadow Blade and a Spectre and a PA, and somehow they even have more than 5 heroes. They also have a Zeus who's gonna nuke you and a Lina with a Shadow Blade Yules, and they just have 8 heroes that can all pick you off. Then yeah, don't walk up to towers if your teammates aren't in position to save you. And I see this a lot as well with items, where players will say, oh, I died. I need a Linken's. I got gripped for 6 seconds that fight. I need a Linken's. Probably not. In fact, buying that Linken's will likely lose you the game because that item is kind of trash. But, and sometimes it's okay, but what I'm saying is, what might have happened, instead of just looking at your items, which is all people do, it's so annoying when I talk to people. It's just like, if I switch my item, I would've what? No! What you could have done is maybe just been closer to your teammates. Maybe you overextended. Maybe you chased the enemy Spectre a little bit too far, and because of that, the Bane was able to get a grip from a very convenient position that couldn't be canceled. And that's what people don't think about. That type of stuff is what makes you better than everyone else. All right, so let's get into the second point now that that rant is over. And the second point, kind of a long one, it's one I'm very, 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 very passionate about, and that is the idea that recalibration is not going to fix your inability to climb. So I guess the myth is that people think that recalibration is going to fix their inability to climb. Recalibration will not make you unstuck from your bracket. Now, I know there will be those couple of outlier stories where people are like, I was stuck in 1.5k MMR, and I went 8 and 2 in my calibrations. I got to 2k, and now I'm at 2.5. Well, I mean, Okay, sure. But for the most part, this is what happens. Let's say you have a 2K MMR player. He's been stuck in 2K MMR for 3 months, consistently blaming his teammates, never thinking about what he can do better, always just looking for some easy way out, just trying to pick a new hero, right? Or, trying to figure out some item build he could go that would fix it, instead of really trying to look at the things that actually make you better. And then he's like, recalibration's coming out. Great, I can recalibrate. Now, the likely scenario is that you'll go 5-5 or 4-6, and you'll actually lose rank. But what can also happen is that people will go 8-2 just out of chance. They have some good teammates, right? Couple good games, some good teammates. The enemy team feeds a couple times, who knows? And they gain 500 MMR, 700 MMR. Want to know what typically happens? Sure, they might win 1 or 2 games, because it's not like a 700 MMR difference is that drastic, but there are certainly a lot of things in a 700 MMR gap. It's not going to make every single game. It's not to the point where a 2.7k MMR player is going to stomp a 2k MMR player every game, but they'll win 55% of the time or 60% of the time, to the point where the 2k MMR player would never gain MMR. And so if a 2k MMR player jumps to 2.7 because of recalibration, they will inevitably drop. They will inevitably drop. And so this is why I don't think recalibration, it's just a debate in my opinion. In my genuine opinion, this is my opinion, guys. Did you hear it? It's my opinion. I think this really only affects high MMR players when they made it where the 10 or 11k MMR players got sent back to 7k. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. But other than that, really doesn't matter. Can it be cool? Can it be fun? Can it give you some confidence that maybe some players need? Yes, which is great. But let's stick on this point for one more second. I want to give a bit of an analogy, okay? So let's say you're fat and you don't want to be fat anymore, okay? You have a couple options. Now, the first one is getting fat removal surgery, all right? You're getting fat removal surgery. You get some fat chopped off, all right? You go from 250 pounds to where you want to be at 200 pounds. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Nothing! You're gonna regain the fat over time because you haven't developed the habits you need to actually stay at that weight, stay at that rank. You see what I'm saying? Because it takes years of going to the gym consistently to get where you want to be, and Dota is no different. Stop looking for some easy way out. Like when I'm talking to you guys over Discord, over chats, whatever it is, it seems like you don't even care to learn the game. You just want the quick fix new hero. You just want to pick the new item build. I know I always say that, but that's the two cop-outs that I always see. New hero, new item build. The other one is, when in all actuality, what you need to do is get better at aggro, get better at CS and denying, get better at positioning, get better at knowing when to roach, knowing when to push, knowing if you are gonna get ganked, knowing if you should gank, knowing every small piece of info that when combined into one player makes for an unstoppable force of nature that cannot be reckoned with. And then when you get to that point, you'll gain MMR without recalibration. Okay, that was, whew, sheesh. All right, let's get into the third myth. So the third myth is having 3 to 5 carry heroes is a bad thing. And yeah, I know, click off the video now. But it's actually okay, guys, especially if you're low MMR. Actually, primarily for low MMR. When you get to really high ranks, yeah, having 3 to 5 carry heroes, greedy heroes, generally won't work. Can it work? Yes, I have this very scarring game where I played against a jungle Wraith King in the 6k MMR bracket. We were 2k ahead and we still lost because we couldn't end the game. They all got farmed and we lost. And yeah, it felt really bad. But that's kind of the moral of the story, actually. If you can't end the game, the 3 to 5k carry team might win. Not always, actually. It's not oh, they have 5 carries, they just insta-win late game. That's not how it works. They might all have no farm in the late game and doesn't really do anything. But more often than not, if you can stall a game, those team comps work. And funny enough, about low MMR games, they last longer, right, guys? They last longer, and so having more cores typically works. Why does Zeus and Spectre and Phantom Assassin have higher win rate and Wraith King have high win rates in that MMR? Because not only are they pretty good at splitting up the map, they also scale really well, right? They scale really, really well, and typically that's what does well in low MMR games. Not always. It's not like Arc Warden is great, but that's because he's hard. But Zeus, Spec, PA, Wraith King, they're easy, and they scale. And so if you go into your next game, and you have 5 carries, or 4, and you're the only support, and you're GG. You wanna know what you should do instead? Never fight. Wanna know why? Because they can't fight. Wanna know why? Because you have 4 carries. So if you have 4 carries who can't fight, don't fight. It's literally, it's so funny. People are oh, I have 4 carries, and then I can't make any places to support. Yeah, you just said what you should do. You can't make plays. So what should you do instead, you might ask? Well, maybe you could stack some camps. But what if your team's getting invaded? Then what you want to do is take the hardest farm possible, find the most aggressive lane on the map, push it in, walk into the trees, hide, then when they push it out, you push it in again. And if they fight your team mid, you push it all the way to the tower. You force some rotations, but try not to die. The key thing, I see players, they'll just like run down a lane and die. Don't do that. It's okay to die here and there if you mess up or if they smoke gank you, but don't do it intentionally. Try to bide some time, try to make them running you, chase you in the trees, whatever it is. And yeah, that's going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this rant. If you did, please do like, subscribe. If you have any ideas or myths that you want to bring up, of course, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm going to try to reply. I want to see what you guys have to say, hear what you guys have to say, as we're all trying to improve at the same time. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to gameleap.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're going to see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.